Welcome back, guys, to Combat BS. I'm your host, BS, and today we're going to go over UFC 323. Took place last night. Lots of other news, but let's get to the fights first. Recap every single one just real quick. Piotr Jan versus Merab Dvalishvili. This was an insane fight for the UFC. One of the best I've seen in a minute. I just couldn't imagine a more entertaining way for this fight to go down. Merab really struggled with the takedowns. He didn't really shoot for one for the first 4 or 5 minutes, and it seemed like Merab wasn't really trying to put that pace on him that he's been putting on fighters for the past few years, and that was disappointing because Merab he's got to get out the gate running to wear down his opponent over the course of 5 rounds. He has more cardio than everybody. Now, maybe this time he wouldn't have with 5 weight cuts in 15 months. But I still think that's a strategy to win fights no matter what, and then seek a finish if it's there, like he did with Sugar. But and almost with Corey. But Piotr was just able to keep it at distance in the first round. Merab landed a few big shots. Piotr landed one big shot. First round was 50-50. I think a few people gave it to Merab. I gave it to Piotr. Round 2 was even more 50-50. I gave that one to Merab. And then from there on out, it was Piotr. I mean, Piotr dumped him on his head at one point. Piotr took him down 2, maybe 3 times. I know Merab only got 2 takedowns and a bunch of attempts. Don't look at the UFC stats. That was not even close to the amount of attempts he had. He was way shy of that, but he still did attempt quite a few takedowns. Piotr just fought the perfect fight. Picked his shots wisely, used the openings to do damage, was able to withstand the grappling like he said he would with that lack of that injured hand that he had. So just a great performance overall by Piotr. Now this fight really screwed me on my bet slip. I'll show you guys later on. But Josh Van wins by KO due to Alex Pantoja's arm breaking. He threw a head kick, got his leg caught up on Van's shoulder. Van pushes his leg upward to try to dump Pantoja off of him. Pantoja tries to brace with an arm. It snaps at the elbow. Unfortunate. Probably dislocate and tore some ligaments or break, one or the other. Sucks for Pantoja. I had Pantoja by sub 2 different ways in my personal gambling. I had him by sub in the show. $35 worth, so that's down the hatch, and we're in the negative now because of that. Unfortunate. Tatsuro Taira versus Brandon Moreno. I have Moreno by decision on the bet slip as well. Tatsuro Taira was I didn't know how much bigger he was. He's huge compared to Moreno. Moreno's a true 125er. Tatsuro Taira is young, able to cut the weight to 125. Might have to fight a 35 later in his career. Just a big dude. Was able to, once he got Brandon Moreno on the ground in the second round. First round, he gets him down, but gets caught in a reverse triangle position, and Moreno just holds it for the whole round, wins the round, which was honestly ridiculous that Mark Smith was clapping at him to advance your position. He's got a triangle locked in. Tatsuro Taira's got to get out of here. This is not Brandon Moreno's job. That was insane. But Tatsuro Taira gets him on the ground and flattens him out and is just going to pound him into the dirt. I wish they gave him a little more time, but I mean, Tatsuro Taira is a genius on the ground, so he wasn't going to let up that position. Peyton Talbot versus Henry Cejudo. This fight was exactly as I thought it would go, other than the takedowns from Talbot. But Henry was able to wrestle a little bit, not a lot. Peyton kept the distance, did a lot of damage, had a few takedowns himself, which was awesome to watch. He was stuck his tongue out at the camera at one point whenever he got inside trip. Super entertaining fight. Talbot's an up-and-coming star. Henry Cejudo puts on a show, asks Dana White for a bonus. He says, you're going to get you're going to get something. Gives him show and win money. Pretty cool. A draw. Bogdan Guskov and Jan Blachowicz. Honestly, not shocked at all to see that. These guys were pretty evenly matched the whole fight. Round 2, Jan gets dropped while he's trying to get out of the striking range. Gets caught because he's a little older, a little slower. Gets dropped. Gets ground and pound, cut up a few times, but wins round 1 and round 3. And that leaves Jan to win some money. To survive and to win those 2 rounds, lose the other one 10-8, tie the fight. Manuel Torres, Grant Dawson. I mean, I was all over Torres by knockout. I parlayed it with Abdul Malik, which sucks. I'll get to that in a minute. But Manuel Torres gets a first-round knockout. And people on social media are saying, oh, inspect this guy. What's going on here? Grant threw that fight. But, guys, Manuel Torres is a big 155er with a lot of power. Greg Dawson, a former featherweight who likes to grapple, can't strike well with a glass chin. He gets in striking range. Manuel Torres throws a four-punch combo and catches him with a left hook, puts him down, puts him out. That's that. Chris Duncan gets an anaconda choke on Terrence McKinney. This fight was as fun as could be while it lasted. Terrence had some big moments early. Chris Duncan finds an elbow in the clinch against the cage, drops him. And from there, it was already over, but they took a little while to get the choke. Macy Barber versus Karina Silva. This fight, there was a really weird up kick in the first round that hit Macy Barber in the face, and Mark Smith kind of just let it go. And then there was another one in the second round, and Macy said that's the second time it was wobbled. And Mark Smith said it was a glancing shot. Let's focus on this one. And then another official on the outside of the cage had to yell. It hit her directly on the chin to him for him to understand. Then he took her a little more serious, and she was like, "I'm a little dizzy, but I want to fight." And they didn't give her the time. We were a minute 15 into the break. You get 5 minutes, and they said, "Oh, you're ready to go? Okay, let's go." Like that's not a risk that Macy Barber should have to take. If she wants to fight with dizzy, she should get to the 5 minute mark to try to be not dizzy. I don't understand why they insist on as soon as you say like I'm gonna fight, you have to fight. Like why can't it be like I'll fight, just let me take a little more time so I can clear my mind. Like that was insane to me. I couldn't even believe that. But yeah, Macy Barber wins by decision. Great performance by her. Deserved it. Got illegally hit twice. I think she won round 2 and 3. I'm not 100% certain. I can't remember every fight in detail, but great fight nonetheless. Faraz Ziem beats Nazim Sadikov. I liked Sadikov, but I didn't gamble on him at all. Glad I didn't. Ziem just continues to get better and better. I mean, he dominated this fight on the ground, on the feet. Sadikov had 6 inches less reach, and Ziem just kept it at distance and just put a beating on him from range and made it really hard on him to get into range. There was a lot of times where Nas was like trying to do this thing where he was at distance, like reaching out, trying to make it seem like he was getting closer than he was to hitting Ziem, and Ziem just felt super comfortable out there. He was doing a lot of jabbing with his fingers out on purpose to try to feel that much closer to hitting him, and it was just a bad sign. He was doing that all the way to like the middle end of the second round, and then gets caught with a few big elbows and got pounded out with like 1 second left in the round. People were saying early stoppage, should have let it go to the end of the round, see what happens in the third. He's done. He's getting pounded on the ground, guys. Any other scenario you guys want to stop? So I think it's a good stoppage. He was wobbly when he got up. Bruno Feita, Marvin Vettori. I really want him Vettori to push the pace there in that third round. I think if he just like was more, I don't know what's the word for it, just a sense of urgency early in the third. Like Bruno looked gassed at the end of the second. Vettori started getting hit a few times in the mid third and just stopped pushing the pace. And Ferreira was exhausted. And I feel like if he would have just walked at him, you got a granite chin. You're not being clipped that often. If you just put some pressure on this guy, he's going to fade. And he just didn't. He allowed Ferreira to just stay comfortable, and Ferreira won. Bad performance out of Vettori. He could have won that fight. Jalen Turner over Edson Barbosa in round 1 by KO. I thought Jalen would win by KO, but I wasn't comfortable betting on it. Him coming out of retirement. He did seem in good spirits, but I didn't want to risk it, so avoided that fight. Iwar Baranowski, I can't remember how to pronounce it, versus Ibo Aslan was a bar fight. This fight went less than 90 seconds and I think there was 4 knockdowns in that time. What an insane fight. Back and forth we go, and Iwo just putting on a performance that's going to make him a fighter that people want to watch. So great to see for the UFC for a newcomer, 7-0. We'll see if he can keep building. Next fight, Mansour Abdul Malik versus Antonio Tracoli. Hated this outcome, honestly, because I had Mansour Abdul Malik under 1.5 by KO, and he gets a choke, and Tracoli taps within seconds. So unfortunate, but good performance by Abdul Malik. He just wants to keep getting better. He was so thrilled on the mic after the fight. So fun to see his energy, and hopefully he can keep building and become a fighter similar to like what I just said about Iwo Barnowski, just a guy that people want to watch. And Martin Santos misses weight and gets a KO against Muhammad Naimov. Naimov just looked like shit the whole fight. Santos took his time and then lands a big shot. So good performance out of him. Could have been better, could have been worse. Overall, great fight night. Everybody loves to watch a card like this. Finish. Decision here, but fun fight. Could have been better. Finish. Great fight here. Great fight here. Finish. Back and forth draw. Amazing fight. Decision. Amazing fight. Finish. Unfortunate arm injury. Amazing fight. Draw to decision. So just an awesome card to end the ESPN era. It's I'm excited about the Paramount Plus era. They're announcing a lot of things like more organized. It seems more to build hype. It seems, and I hope that they can not just do that now because we're heading into the ESPN era, the Paramount Plus era. But I think they should do this regularly. Have these seasonal press conferences 4 times a year. Schedule out the next 3 months. Bring out like the fighters that are going to be in the March, the June, the September, and the December cards. Bring them out, announce it at the press conference. Make it a big deal. Like, it's awesome to see that kind of stuff. They announced a fight night during this broadcast, which we're about to touch on. They announced the headliner of a pay-per-view, like at the press conference, like I just said. They're announcing fights on the card for Diego Lopez, Alexander Volkanovski. While the card's going on, they're hyping up everything. And it just feels like they're building so well towards this Paramount Plus era. Let's do this regularly. The UFC can use this. The UFC can build off this. They can be one of the biggest sports in the world, I really believe, if they can rely on this kind of promotion on a regular basis and not just whenever we're starting a new partnership and feel the need to do that. So hopefully they can lean on this kind of promotion year round and not just because of the big moments. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get into the UFC 325 announcements that I was just talking about real quick. Volkanovski Lopez, we already knew about this. During the card, they announced this fight right here. Dan Hooker, Benoit Saint-Denis, war. That's going to be a great fight. I wonder if Dan Hooker's even going to be fully healed from that Arman Tsarukyan fight. But wow, what a fight that is. Rafael Fiziev just lost to Benoit Saint-Denis. Mauricio Rufy just lost to Benoit Saint-Denis. Gets Rafael Fiziev one below without a win. I love it. I'm a big Mauricio Rufy fan, so don't mind, but crazy outcome. Tai Tuivasa returns after a long layoff and 5 straight losses. Maybe 6, can't remember. Taliesin Teixeira. After that knockout loss by Derek Lewis is going to fight Tai. What a good fight that is. Dustin Jacoby versus Jimmy Crute. Fun fight. And then we got the prelims. Quillan Salkild, one of my guys, fighting Rongju. Great fight. He just had a wildly good performance, so that'll be fun. Ante D'Elia versus Sergey Spivak. Fun fight. I think D'Elia should win. Jonathan McAuliffe. I don't know who that is. I'm not going to lie. Haven't watched a lot of his fights. Probably have watched him once, but haven't watched enough of him. Oben Elliott, great fun fight. Don't care. Junior Taffa versus Billy Alicana should be fun. Cam Rouston versus Cody Brundage. I want Cam Rouston to win. Jacob Malkoun versus Torres Finney. Torres Finney's the big, really, really short 185er, and then all the season 4 Road to UFC matchups. So that should be a fun card. Really excited about these big announcements here. Dan Hooker, Benoit Saint-Denis, Mauricio Rufy, Jimmy Crute, and Quillan Salkild. Those are my fights other than the main event that I'm looking forward to. Another big fight that got announced during this pay-per-view was Sean Strickland versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. I absolutely love this matchup. Fluffy pushes a pace that a lot of people can't handle in every aspect of MMA. Sean Strickland keeps a pace on the feet. It's just really hard to get into range and deal with him. He puts a lot of damage on you before you can even get to him, making it so you're just worn down. So this should be a fun matchup. I think Hernandez wins inside the distance. I don't see Sean being able to keep him from grappling him. And I mean, Sean's a good grappler, but Fluffy's just relentless. Anyway. I don't even know what that was. Sorry. Another big announcement that they had was They did the UFC seasonal press conference, like I touched on. They brought out every fighter for the main card, I believe, of UFC 324, and they brought out UFC 325's headliner, and then they brought out afterward UFC 326's headliner, which I'm not going to complain about. But they should have not ran that B-roll promotion for that fight beforehand. It would have been a lot more hyped up if they didn't do that. But I like the idea. Let's just keep that going. I'm not going to give them too much crap for it, but why are we running a B-roll for Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway if 10 seconds later we're going to bring him on stage like, our 326 headliner, Brazilian legend, most submissions and finishes, Charles Oliveira. It's like, we know. What are we doing? 3,600 significant strikes, 1,000 more than any other fighter, Max Holloway, the BMF. It's like, yeah, you just ran a clip. We know. What are we doing? Like, I like the thought. Just a little bit of execution. We'll get it next time. There were some highlight moments during the press conference, so I'm not too worried about getting through all of them right now. But there was a guy who asked about the Latina community and how they're growing in the UFC and how he should say hi, and Derek Blue should say hi to that, or say something to him, and he just goes, "Shut up, bitch," in Spanish. And then right after that, somebody asked him how he's going to celebrate with his wife. And he said, "I'm not busting." That's you know what I'm saying, like just crazy stuff at the press conference. Sean O'Malley wore a mask to face off with his Chinese opponent. 6-year-old joke, super necessary. Yeah, just overall a good press conference. Was a little weird that it was about to end quickly because the media ran out of questions with 10 stars on the stage. Like, what are we doing? But yeah, just an awesome card and an awesome weekend. Lots of big announcements, lots of big hype building up for this Paramount card or Paramount membership. What am I saying? Paramount partnership. Anyway, I'm going to share my screen again, and we will talk about this Manel Kopp versus Brandon Royval card. All right, top to bottom. Let's just do the ones that I really care about. Neil Magny coming back against Yaroslav Amos. I don't even know how to pronounce this guy's name. Haven't watched him fight. Pretty sure he's pretty new. Don't know how to pronounce this guy's name, but he got KO'd by Jean Silva versus Joanson Brito. That should be fun. Amanda Lemos and Gillian Robertson. We'll be putting that in the parlay. Kennedy and Zechku versus Marcus Buchecha. Morgan Charrier versus Melky Kazel Costa. Fun fight. Cesar Olashechuk versus Cesar Almeida. Fun fight. Giga Chikadze versus Kelvin. Jeez, I'm struggling. My bad. Kevin Vallejos. And Manel Kopp versus Brandon Royval. I'll take for my CombatBS slip. I lost $50 this weekend, so we're down $48.80 now because we had Brandon Moreno by decision, $10, lost that. We had Pantoja by submission, a $35 bet that would have paid out $105. Bummed me out. He broke his arm. And then we had Mansour Abdul Malik and Manuel Torres by KO parlayed, and Abdul Malik gets a submission. So unfortunate. But this weekend we're going to put all $10 on a parlay. Brandon Royval, Kevin Vallejos, and Gillian Robertson. So I will type that down, take a screenshot of it, and next week I'll come back with an update. Hopefully we're back in the green. Hopefully it's a good performance out of all three of them, and hopefully everything goes well. I look forward to catching up with you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in to CombatBS. We'll see you next time.